So pre-orders are officially on the way for the Meta Quest 3. It's releasing October 10th for $500 US for the 128GB version and $650 US for the 512GB version. In this video, I want to talk about everything we know prior to the release of the headset, some games launching alongside it, and more. If you enjoy the content, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe, but let's just get right into it. The Quest 3 is said to have double the processing power of the already impressive Quest 2 with a brand new Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 platform. But what does this mean exactly? Well, you should see a drastic decrease in the amount of time it takes to load into a game, with some sharper details in-game as well, alongside higher frame rates. Those frame rates which will absolutely be used by the native 90Hz refresh rate on the headset, with the option to even go up to 120Hz as kind of an experimental option. Alongside this, Meta is boasting what they call an infinite display, which is roughly a 30% increase in resolution from the Quest 2. But with that being said, the lens you're getting on the Quest 3 is still an LCD lens, which kind of seems a little bit outdated at this point. Meta also states that the Quest 3 is redesigned with a thinner profile and kind of a more balanced weight distribution, so it should feel more comfortable while you're playing games. Unfortunately though, you won't be playing games all day in this headset, as it has a roughly 2.5 hour battery life while gaming, and dropping to about 90 minutes of battery life in productivity mode. Some of you, like myself, that already have a Quest 2 might look at that and say, hey, that's less than what the Quest 2 has, and in my opinion, it's extremely disappointing, and it's truly a downside you have to consider if you're looking to buy the headset. Another downside is that it unfortunately doesn't feature eye tracking like the Quest Pro, so I thought I'd add that in there too in case anyone was curious. Instead of the native platform on the Quest 3, if you want to kind of use this as a PCVR headset, then I would say you're in luck over the Quest 2. Going wireless, the Quest 3 supports Wi-Fi 6E, which should allow for smoother AirLink or virtual desktop if you use that connection. And like its predecessor, it also has the option of a wired connection through a USB-C cable. Of course, you have to buy that separately, but the option's still there. So basically what the Quest 3 boils down to is of course an improved version of the Quest 2, with some more emphasis in mixed reality, a smaller form factor, and an involved sense of performance, well, outside of the battery life anyways. But let's jump into the games. As Meta said, there's nearly 100 titles that will be available for the Quest 3, with 50 being brand new titles and 50 being updated from the past. Some of those games being the new Asgard's Wrath 2, which you actually get for free when you buy the Quest 3 for a limited time, Lego Brick Tales, which is out already on flat screen, but Lego in VR just seems right in my opinion. And lastly, you have the option to play the entire catalog of Xbox Game Pass cloud games. That's right, you can play Halo, Forza, or whatever else you'd like to play on that platform in VR. Obviously the games won't be in VR, but you'll be able to boot them up and play through your headset, which is super cool if you don't already have an Xbox or PC to play them on. If you ask me, I'm personally skeptical about the future of cloud gaming, but I am curious to see just how well this works in practice. I've always been super impressed with VR gaming. It's one of those things you have to try at least once if you've never tried before. Even non-gamers that I know have tried the Quest 2 and were impressed, and some of them even ended up buying the headset. Right now it's really hard to judge or review the Quest 3 without having one in hand, but I will say that if you already have a Quest 2, I'm not really seeing the point to upgrading, at least just not yet. Maybe if the prices come down a little bit, but from a casual perspective and on paper, this almost feels like an upgrade from like an iPhone 11 to an iPhone 12. Though I'm super curious to watch the reviews roll in for this headset, as we're only a few short weeks from its release. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It means a lot and helps out the channel immensely. But until the next video, I will catch you guys all later.